Hey you guys, so today I'm going to be using my Pond's B3 Cream Moisturizer to start. This one helps if you have any discoloration or dark spots in your skin, so I go ahead and use this one pretty often over the blue one. Then to prime, I'm going to use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. This one is one of my favorites because it helps fill in my pores and my foundation lasts pretty long while I use it. So I'm going to go ahead and press that into my skin. Then I'm going to use the Mario Badescu spray and push it in with my Real Technique sponge. I do it this way because I feel like it helps the product sink in faster than just spraying it on the surface. Then I'm going to be using the Matte and Poreless Maybelline foundation in the shade 228. I like to use this one over the dewy one because I notice throughout the day I'm more oily, so I go ahead and use the Matte and Poreless one. I'm going to pour it on my hand and then apply it with my Real Technique sponge again. So for concealer today, I'm going to be using the Tarte and Maybelline. I like to use this combo because the Tarte one's a little bit too heavy for me and the Maybelline one is very lightweight, so I like to use a mixture of both. Yeah, and then after I apply the Maybelline one, I'm going to let my concealer dry just for a little bit because I feel like it holds the product better. And then I'm going to blend it out with that same Real Technique sponge. Then to set the under eyes, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Loose Powder in the shade Fair Clair. I like to use this one because it's very lightweight and I feel like it dries out my under eyes less than the other ones that I have used before. After this, once again, I'm going to use the Mario Badescu spray. I like to do this one last time to press in all that product, that way it's less like powder and more like skin. To bronze, I'm going to be using the Butter Bronzer. I like to use this one because it's very warm but cool in a way and it smells very good. It smells like pina coladas that I love. So I'm going to go ahead and use that and use my Sonia Kashuk brush to apply it. I'm going to use that same bronzer to contour my nose. I like to take my brush down the bridge of it and then blend it on the sides, that way it's less harsh looking. After that, I'm going to use my Real Technique sponge to clean up my contour, that way it's a little bit less messy and more precise. For blush, I'm going to be using the Milani Berry More one. I'm going to apply it with my Real Techniques brush. I like this one and Luminoso, they're both my favorite. Probably use Luminoso a little bit more, but either way. Then I'm going to blend it out a little bit with my brush that I used to bronze because I feel like it came off a little bit too strong. To highlight, first I'm going to use the Becca Cosmetics Moonstone one. I'm going to use this one in a little bit. You'll see I'll use another one because I feel like this one wasn't that blinding. After I highlight my cheekbones, I'm going to go ahead and highlight the bridge of my nose, the point, and my temples. I like to use this, that way I have an overall glow on my face. My next highlight, I'm going to use the Glow Getter shade in the Nicole Anastasia palette. I really love this palette. I feel like they did a really good job on the formula. It's very blinding, so I'm going to go ahead and use that as my second highlighter. Moving on to the eyes, I'm going to be using Sora and the Manny and Makeup Geek palette. I'm going to go ahead and apply that into my crease and build it up. Then as you can see, I'm going to do the same on the other eye, apply it and then build it up. I'm going to bring it in all the way, that way it gives the eye more of a different look. After that, I'm going to take a more detailed brush and apply the Frappe shade in the palette, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that to the eye. After using Frappe, I'm going to go ahead and go in with Mars and apply it to the outer V of my eye. With this shade, it's a little bit drier than the others. It was kind of hard to blend out, so you'll see that I go in and apply it and then blend it out and redo those two steps. As you can see on this eye, I have brought in that Mars shade all the way into the tear duct, and then I whipped it out on the side to just give it more of a dramatic look. Next, I go with Go For It from the Tarte Dream Big palette. It's very pigmented. I didn't know it at first because it was my first time using this palette, but either way, I went in with my blending brush and blended it out, and then I'm gonna go ahead and build it up and take it gradually. That way it's not too harsh. So for this look, to make it more dramatic, I wanted to do a half cut crease. I used my Maybelline concealer to carve it out, and then for the brush, I used the e.l.f. flat concealer brush. After I had cut my crease, I went ahead and blended out the shadows because for me, I felt like they were a little bit more dry, so I didn't want them to look harsh. So I went ahead and blended out one more time with my E27 brush. For this look, I was initially going to do a white liner on top of the cut crease, but this L'Oreal paint kind of eyeliner thing, it didn't work out pretty well because for one, it was dry, it wasn't very pigmented, and once I tried to layer it, it didn't really come out the way I wanted to, so I ended up fixing it. So yeah, this L'Oreal infallible paint thing wasn't my jam. After I finished my eyeshadow, I went ahead with the Maybelline eyeliner in the shade Toffee. I went ahead with a brown eyeliner rather than a black one because I felt like it looked less harsh. The eyeshadow was already bold enough, so I wanted to tone it down just a bit. To highlight the inner tear duct, I wanted to use the Moonstone shade by Becca Cosmetics. And then I went ahead and blended out my eyeshadow one more time, that way it was more seamless. And for bottom mascara today, I was using the Maybelline Shayla mascara in the shade Black is Black. And then for lips, I had went in with Lolita by Kat Von D. I like that I went with this shade because I felt like it was monochromatic in a way. It pulled the look together very well. Lastly, to set my face, I used the Milani setting spray. It was my first time using this one. I felt like it held up my foundation pretty well and the scent was pleasant. It wasn't too strong. It was a very light perfume smell. So yeah, this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you try it out. Let me know what you want to see next, and please thumbs up if you did like it and subscribe. Bye guys.